Listen to the hum of a crowded resort lobby. It's dimly lit, packed with tourists dragging luggage, staff rushing drinks to tables, and a constant, overlapping buzz of voices. In the middle of all this noise, two people are sitting at a small table. They have been engaged in a perfectly fluid, flawlessly polite conversation for the better part of an hour. But if you watch closely, their bodies are telling a different story. They are both leaning in across the table, maintaining intense eye contact, while aggressively discussing the most boring topics imaginable: the local weather, an okay movie, their daily commutes. Have you ever been in a conversation that felt like a shield, where you are talking about nothing, but you're actually screaming something entirely different? Why do we choose the safety of a completely dull conversation over the risk of a real one? By relying on the safety of small talk, these two are actively keeping their mutual desire at bay. Their polite syntax isn't being used for communication at all. It is a deliberate, highly effective defense mechanism. If we block out the bustling lobby and look right at their faces, we see perfectly rigid, pleasant, unmoving expressions. Yet immediately behind that calm exterior, there is a turbulent chaos, a swirling, intense emotional storm of desire and anxiety churning inside them. And sitting directly across the table, the second person is experiencing the exact same internal storm. They share a perfect, hidden symmetry of unexpressed desire. Researchers studying human interaction define this exact state as parallel passivity. This term comes from the ISCO project's behavioral ontology, which is a structured framework used to categorize and study the hidden patterns of human behavior. Parallel passivity happens when two people share a mutual attraction but completely fail to act on it. They both want the exact same thing. But that complete alignment is entirely useless as long as both parties remain frozen in a state of mutual observation. Let's look at the physical gap separating them, the 18 inches of negative space resting between their coffee cups. Suppose one of them finally attempts to bridge that gap. They make a microscopic physical movement. A hand shifts a fraction of an inch forward, attempting a moment of vulnerability. The other person instantly detects this. Driven by fear, they interpret this tiny movement as a threat to their safe, predictable dynamic. So they pull back, shifting their posture away. The first person sees that retreat. They interpret the subtle pullback as a definitive rejection, and they instantly withdraw their hand, returning to their safe position. This animated flowchart maps out that exact cycle of hesitation. We can see how an initial action leads to a perceived rejection, which instantly prompts a mutual retreat. The cycle triggers continuously, feeding into itself without ever breaking out of the loop. This behavioral loop firmly locks both individuals right here, inside the space between them, guaranteeing that their relationship never advances past polite chatter. The paradox is simple. Their mutual fear of ruining a potential connection is the exact mechanism that ensures its destruction. Eventually, the hour is up. The polite conversation reaches its natural conclusion. They stand up, exchange a few final pleasantries, and give each other a crisp, formal handshake. They let go, turn their backs to one another, and walk away, instantly vanishing into the larger crowd of the busy resort. But let's ignore the departing crowd and look squarely at what they left behind: these empty chairs and this small table. The connection they shared was a factual reality. Both people felt it, yet it only ever existed right here, hovering in the unspoken physical void between them. Because neither of them reached across that void, the moment does not linger waiting for a second chance. It simply expires, permanently and irretrievably lost to time. The only antidote to this paralysis is action. Actualizing a connection requires an instigator, someone who is willing to drop the conversational shield and risk a real, unscripted moment. Until we recognize our own complicity in this cycle, genuine mutual desire will continue to quietly expire in public spaces, trapped in the safety of small talk.